in Business with Luna Brigid. Here on the show today, I have Donna Pawchuk from Systems Beauty College. So Donna, how are you doing today?
Hi, Luna. I'm great, thanks.
Wonderful. That's awesome to hear. So thank you so much for being on our show today. We're looking forward to spotlighting you as one of our wonderful women in business. So Donna, what are the businesses that you own?
Well, my main business is Systems Beauty College. We run as a salon all day, every day. So that's the main part of what we do, because of course our students train in the salon with hands-on experience. And my side business is a wellness business. I dabble in a few different things to do with wellness.
That is awesome. Well, here on Women in Business, we love to spotlight female business leaders. So we are so excited to have you on the show. Thank you so much. So on that hue, what is your favorite thing about being a businesswoman?
Well, I think that the biggest thing for me is I really work with a lot of women, because most of our program is based with women who are interested in being hairstylists and or nail technologists. So I think it's really inspiring for them to see another woman running everything, and all our teachers are women. And I think it's great for them to be able to see that they can do the same thing. Gives them hope that they're not going to be just stuck behind a chair, that there's lots of opportunities for all of us, right?
No kidding. I imagine it's not the easiest to navigate in a predominantly male industry, just because the business industry is predominantly male. So I guess connecting with that, what are some of the struggles of being a female business owner specifically?
I would say being taken seriously is definitely always a challenge, especially because I think too that in our beauty industry, I think that many people don't take it very seriously and think it's something that's easy to do. And it is not at all easy to do. It's easy to do it, but not do it well, I guess you could say. So much more difficult to be good at it. So that is hard to think that people look at you and say, oh, you're a hairdresser. Doesn't happen as much as it used to. It's really becoming obvious now with barbering becoming bigger. Out there, there's so much being done with barbering, which we also teach. So it's really good at putting some seriousness into us as women being able to run a true business too, and teach men also. So there's no reason why a woman can't teach a man.
No, of course. And no, I completely understand. I'm not sure if our viewers may know, but I had the blessing of being one of your students a handful of years ago. And I get it. There is, I guess, especially I would say about 5 to 10 years ago, there was that really awful stigma of, oh, you're in hairstyling. Oh, you're in nails. There was that awful stigma of you must be some crazy airhead, when in actuality, there is so much creativity and imagination that is involved in this. So no, I love that. You are such an inspirational woman.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So again, on this connectivity train, what drew you to hairstyling?
I remember as a young person, I still had babysitters, so I'm not quite sure how old, but probably 9, 10 years old. I had my babysitters who loved me because I would just sit on the back of the couch and they would sit on the couch and I would brush their hair and we'd watch TV for hours. So that's where it began for me. My fascination with hair was very young. And when I did actually go to school and start my training as a hairstylist, the education, in my opinion, then and today was terrible. I didn't learn a lot. I felt like ripped off, that I wasn't learning a lot. And amazingly enough, I managed to graduate. I passed a government exam, and I truly didn't really have a hot clue what I was doing. So the whole system was a little bit sad. So when I was out in the salon working and learning out there in the real world, which was very scary, it became apparent to me that I would probably be pretty good at teaching because I had to learn for myself from other people. So it made me look at what I was doing differently than it did when I was in school, because I had to kind of pick it apart and figure out how to make it work for me. So that's where the interest began.
No, I like that. I really do. And you kind of are touching on this already. What made you switch from just strictly working in a salon to teaching? Because I can relate to having your own hours. I can relate to not necessarily appreciating certain previous training you had. So yeah, so what made you switch to then become a hairdressing teacher?
Well, there's quite a story behind that, really. I never totally switched for a very long time. I did both for a long time.
Really?
So
cool.
Yeah, when I first started teaching, I was given a position that was a substitute teaching position. And that's where I started for a week. And after a week of having that job, I was offered a full-time teaching position and wasn't sure whether I was ready for that, but decided that I really wanted to give that a go. So I did quit my hairstyling position at that time and start teaching. And it was a good year that I was really learning the ropes and figuring out how to even do it, because there's a lot to it, of course. So once I got that all sorted out, I did start doing hair a lot on the side. I did end up after a few years of teaching and kind of just more working on the side. I had a friend who did home hair. So she traveled around into people's homes, and she moved away and offered me her clientele. So I thought, oh, well, that's fun. You know, when you're teaching something, it is a little bit weird if you're not still doing it. You're not getting the same experience in the world. And so it's better to teach if you're getting some of that worldly experience too. So I went ahead and took those clients, and I called myself the biking barber, actually, because I rode a motorcycle and I packed up my saddlebags full of supplies at the end of my day, and I would go to people's homes and do hair. So it was a lot of fun, but I did work really hard and ended up buying a salon as well, worked down to part-time teaching, more salon work. And so back and forth I went for my whole career, really, mostly always teaching part-time. I think there was only about 2 years where I didn't teach in about 30. So it was, there's been a lot of experience to be had, that's for sure. But I've only truly been out of the salon for really about 5 years. Before that, I was still doing a lot of weekend hair and things like that.
Well, massive kudos to you. That's a massive journey, and yeah, massive kudos and massive respect to going through all that. I really like what you said, though. There's one thing you said about studying versus real life practical experience. I can relate to that fully. Even just, I mentioned on our Rise and Shine Manitoba show that I just finished my teaching degree, and I can attest to that perspective of there is a massive big difference between studying how to be a teacher and then actually having the blessing of being in the schools and being a student teacher. Because you're right, you learn so much by doing and making those silly mistakes, but then learning from them versus just reading in a book how to do this. You know what I mean? So yes,
absolutely.
So fully relate to that. So wow, I can already tell that you are such a strong female business leader. So thank you so much for that, Donna. So
Thanks.
Donna and I have so much more to talk about with her business, Systems Beauty College. So Women in Business will be right back after this.
I think Systems Beauty College is a little bit unique in respect to the way we teach our program. We don't do so much structure and learning and block teaching. Everybody can move along at the pace that suits them.
Well, it's a combination of being both independent and dependent, which I like because you have a little bit of both, and it makes it fun because you can go on your own and create new styles and whatnot. And yeah.
Welcome back to Women in Business with Luna Brigid. I'm here talking with Donna Pawchuk from Systems Beauty College. So Donna, we just spent the last 15 minutes talking about you and how you became to this spot in your journey. So now we're going to get into your business. So how did you start Systems Beauty College?
Well, I was working for the lady that I originally started working with 30 years ago. And I was in Winnipeg, and she actually called me up one day and said, so how do you feel about moving to Brandon? I'm going to take over a hair school there. It's kind of not doing well, and we're going to bring it up into business again. So I gave it some thought and said, oh, well, why not? I've got nothing else going on, so let's do it. So off I came to Brandon and worked for her here for a few years, and we got the school running the way, of course, we think it's great and the way we wanted it to be running. So once that was happening, we had changed locations a couple times, and she was getting a little bit burnt out almost and bored. So she decided that it is time to move on. And they bought a property quite far away, still in Manitoba. And she said, you know, I guess I'm going to need to sell the school. So I said, okay, well, I guess I better find a way to buy it because, you know, I don't want to stop what I'm doing, and I like it here in Brandon. So that's where it began. And so I started the business and decided that the name Systems was my name because everything that we do at the school is based on systems. It's my favorite way to live life and stay in control of what's going on is to do it in a systematic way. So that's where the name came from as well.
That makes sense because in a lot of activities or parts of our life, every great success comes from a firm foundation or set of systems. So no, I love that play on words. That is awesome. Yep. So for all of our viewers that aren't necessarily from the area, who don't know your salon just from hearing the name, where is Systems Beauty College?
So we're located at the corner of 13th and College. It's a residential area, but there's lots of parking around, and it's free, so that's always good. No meters to worry about. And yeah, we're just on the corner. It's a fairly small school. But we take appointments right now due to COVID, but certainly we usually did a great walk-in business.
That's awesome. So then what are Systems Beauty College's hours of operations?
So technically the school itself operates 8:30 to 5, Monday to Friday, but our client hours are 9:30 to 4. So we make sure that we're able to get some theory in the morning and be able to get all the clients cleaned up and the building cleaned up at night before we go home.
That is awesome. So what are the types of services that you provide at the salon half of Systems Beauty College?
So we have hairstyling, of course. That's our main program. That's where we have the most space for students. And with that, we teach pretty much everything to do with hair. Mostly cutting and coloring are really big. Perming is still pretty big. In fact, right now, perming is coming back into style. We don't call it perming so much anymore. We're trying to learn, which again is a very difficult thing after 30 years to try to remember different things. But having a texture service is the preferred terminology now. You know, and to explain just a little bit about that, if you look at your hair and how voluminous and wonderful body it has without having a lot of curl, that can be a texture service. You can get that from having a perm. So that's why we like to change the name up so people don't think of all those fuzzy curls that are commonly called a perm. Yeah. But we also do a facial waxing. Oh, cool. Right now, unfortunately, it's really only brows because of that mask necessity. We can't get under the mask, but generally we would do lip and chin as well. And we have the nail side of our school. And for that side, we offer full nail services, gel nails, manicures, pedicures. We don't really do acrylic on our clients, mostly because the product that we have to use or prefer to use in the school is low smell, low odor, and it doesn't work super good. So we prefer not to do it on the clients. But when you get into that high odor acrylic, some of you out there might have had your nails done or been in a salon that uses it. It's really strong and it's just not pleasant to be in that environment. So we chose not to offer that to clients. So gel is what we do.
I like that. Even just myself, like I've gotten acrylic tips versus gel nails. And also me personally, maybe just a balance thing, but I really like with the gel nails, it feels like all of the nail product is more balanced on your nail. But maybe me personally, I found with those strong acrylic tips, there was so much weight at the tip of my nails. Me personally, I was paranoid. I was like, okay, don't break off your nails, Luna. Keep the nails on. Don't break them off, because if you do, it's gonna break off like half your nails. So yes, I'm so thankful that you guys specialize in gel, because I agree. I prefer the gel over the acrylic tips too.
Yeah, many do.
And that makes sense. So
yes,
I know that you slowly hew to this, but I would like to elaborate a little bit more on this, just because, love it or hate it, like it or not, we have the COVID word. Everyone's like walking, tiptoeing around that word because it seems like it's the scary monster in our closets right now. So because of COVID and businesses beginning to reopen and all of like the legal restrictions, because no one wants to, get a ticket for those. Are there any restrictions of services or modifications of services because of COVID now?
So we do have a little bit of restrictions and modifications. As I mentioned about waxing, certainly we're just doing brows right now. We are able to shampoo, but if people can come with clean hair, it's certainly a little bit less contact, especially for them with our face over top of them in the sink, masked or not. That's some pretty close close space. So yeah. if they can, we're great if they shampoo themselves. But we're doing our colors and our perms, and we've got our chairs spaced properly so that we've got the right distance between everyone. We're all being masked. Our nail department has masks, as well as a plexiglass screen between the client and the student. So we're doing all the right things. We've always been clean, but honestly now we're even cleaner than we were before. So we've got that going on. As I mentioned, we're mostly walk-in for haircuts, but right now we're needing to make appointments. So mostly people are calling ahead. If you walk in though, we usually just say, well, sure, just take a walk around the block and we'll book you in, and we get their information and get them in, right? It's dozen of one, half dozen the other. As long as they're getting in and we're preparing for them and we're clean, it's all good.
Good. Well, honestly, you and every other business, I have so much respect for every business that has to go through an arm and a leg and a foot of health procedures. So thank you for all of the extra care and dedication that you and your students and your staff do to make sure that you can still have the amazing experience of being able to interact and help customers while also keeping us safe. So thank you.
Yes.
And so another question quick before our next commercial break. Is there anything that sets you apart in the beauty, education, and salon industry?
Well, of course, in my opinion, there's lots of things, but
Right on. I'd love to hear it.
yes, so I will start on a few of them for sure. We have a one-of-a-kind online hairstyling program. So that's distance education. We are, as I say, one of a kind in Canada. It's an accredited program. So it runs over 12 months, and you have to spend 2 of those months on campus. So it's usually halfway through you come for a month, and then at the end you come for a month. It is a very successful program. They're learning off of watching the same videos that we will learn from in school as well. And they take pictures of their work and submit it for marks, and it gets critiqued like they would if they were right there in the school. We do allow them, and actually like if they can come in sometimes. Some of the people live a little further away, so don't make it in. But others come in fairly regular to get a little bit of help. It is a little easier with hands-on help. But boy, I can tell you, over the COVID closures, I was doing lots of Zoom teaching even to my in-school students. We created a new video to help with some tips and tricks. And so it went very well. And the online program is just as successful with employment. Graduate success rate is our on-campus program. So it's an amazing program. So that's one of the biggest things that we have that's different. So,
before
sorry.
Before we move on, since that is such a key concept, I do want to elaborate on, especially because of COVID right now.
Yes.
What's really great about that is you guys were already built to also have an online program. So that's also one key fact I want to make sure our viewers are listening to, is the fact that you have always been both an in-person and online salon. So it is a wonderful program to take right now, because then you can be at home, you can still follow, be safely at home, but also get your education, and you're working with staff that have been planning and programming this online school since its beginning. So you know that you're going to be in very safe hands, because that's partially what your business is equipped for, is to be easily accessible to essentially anyone who has a computer can learn how to be an amazing and successful hairstylist. So I want to key that in before we moved on. So yes, by all means, please continue, Donna. Thank you.
For sure. No problem. Part of what makes that a success, and what makes our school in general a success, is the systems that we use, that we work within. So when we're cutting hair, of course, we have a textbook, and we certainly do follow lots of the components in our textbook, but we have put in a lot of things. I call them safeties. So there are different steps within the system that keep you out of trouble or from making big mistakes. So when we're teaching, we're doing a lot of safety systems that are keeping mistakes minimal. So each person gives a plan before they begin their work. We go over what they're going to do. They execute the work depending on their level, whether they do it all alone or not. And the teacher checks it at the end. So you're always leaving with a good haircut. I joke sometimes that it might not have been exactly what you asked for, but it's usually pretty close, because those systems only allow you to make smaller mistakes. So we do very little bad haircuts. And we also are very much all about teaching you. My motto is to be better than the average bear. So that comes from Yogi Bear. If you're old enough to know Yogi Bear, and if you're not, look it up, because it's kind of a cute motto, I think. And we look at hair a little different than all stylists or some stylists. We really look at the full picture of how it grows and how it behaves and what its texture is, to really be able to do a full service job. and do the proper consultation to find out if people's style and all of the components. And I'm not even feeling confident that that's done well in the salons a lot of times. So I feel like that definitely sets us apart for sure in that way. Having a smaller size school, I also think is a huge asset. Some of the schools are very, very large. And when you get big, you need more teachers. So more teachers gives you more diversity in how you're teaching. So for us, we're pretty much all on the same page. It takes a long time to train in a new teacher, and it happens very slowly because we're very particular on how we teach so that we're not confusing people, showing them, you know, different ways every time somebody comes along. Well, do this, do that, do this. And then they're just confused and overwhelmed. And I've seen a lot of that coming in from people who've transferred from other schools or tried another school and it didn't work out and decided to give us a try because of our smaller environment. And it's been very successful for us that way. We also...
collaborative. It seems more collaborative than just do this, follow these procedures, where it seems like you give your students the correct knowledge, but also the freedom to be a human and to make the mistakes that a human will always make, but then being smart enough as their instructor to, like you said, go back to your systems and have the system set in place so that the haircut is designed for a student with the help of an amazing staff to guide them, instead of just, oh crap, you cut the wrong piece of hair, now the whole haircut's thrown off. So
that's right.
I feel like we have so much more to talk about. So I would love to hear more about this. I feel like we have like an hour's worth of this to talk about. So I want to pin and resume this right after this quick commercial break. So yes, so thank you so much, Donna, and we'll be right back.
Sounds good.
I think Systems Beauty College is a little bit unique in respect to the way we teach our program. We don't do so much structure and learning and block teaching. Everybody can move along at the pace that suits them. Everybody can move along at the pace that suits them. If they can move faster, they do so. Therefore, learning everything earlier and getting more practice in all segments of hairstyling as opposed to just being stuck in one section for a certain period of time. So we try to accommodate all the different learning styles.
Why go solar? Solar is better than ever. Our revolutionary design and inverter equipment with the latest in solar panel technology for the ultimate in-home and business security. That's right, I said security. Grid security and security of your home are linked. Fortify your future today with a battery backup system. No maintenance, quiet running. Did you know in Manitoba, grid-connected, off-grid, and battery backup systems are 100% right off in the year you purchase for any company or farm? Do you want to back up your internet, keep your tills running, and the lights on? We can install a system that is right for you with battery backup fully capable of taking on all those essential loads and keeping you running. When you call our experts at Evolve Green, ask about getting your free energy audit today. Call or email today to find out what system works best for you. 1-866-5EVOLVE or support@evolvegreen.ca. Also, be sure to check out our website at www.evolvegreen.ca.
Welcome back to Women in Business with Luna Brigid. I'm here talking with Donna Pawchuk from Systems Beauty College. Wow, Donna. Honestly, your salon is so unique and inspirational, and so are you as a strong female business leader. So I am loving this conversation and I'm looking forward to continuing. So, what else makes your salon this unique gem where everyone needs to go to then Systems Beauty College? What else makes it unique?
So I think too, some of our great things are, as I mentioned, we do full service. So we start with the consultation and get all the information, do our analysis of the hair and its growth so that we're able to treat everyone's head as an individual head. And we do what's necessary in completion of that. So our students do the main form of the haircut in the beginning, of any of our services. Really, they're doing as much as they can in the main components. Then the teacher comes in and does a lot of the customizing, finishing components. So also when they're learning right in the beginning, what we do is we do parts ourselves, and then we bring them into each part that they haven't done before. So if they cut one area the first time, they cut another area the second time until they're able to get through the whole thing. Happens the same way in the nail department, because you can imagine if you've had your nails done, some of you may have and some not, it takes a while to get gel nails done, and it takes a long time to learn how to do it well and all that filing. And we can't keep our clients in the chair for 6 hours later when the student's finally done. Same with the haircut. It would take, I remember my first haircut in school, it was 2 hours before they brought another student or someone in to finish it. And I felt so bad for that poor client. So we've got our ways worked out that the teacher helps in the right aspects and places to be able to get the student all the experience in all the different areas until they can do the whole thing all on their own. So that's,
I want to jump on one quick thing. You mentioned about how, say, the first haircut, you might have your student do, say, the one half, and then the next one a different half. I like that as well, because the whole experience then it's literally simultaneously haircutting and styling a guest's hair while also instructing your students. So I really like your integration and your balance between both being a school and a salon. And I think that in and of itself is a great quality and unique quality of Systems Beauty College, is the integration that seems so seamless between the salon half and the school half.
definitely.
So the last kind of question on this specific thought train, can you explain, because you kind of slowly hewed into this when you did like the initial preliminary kind of, I guess, checkup or deciding process of what the hair is going to look like. Can you maybe explain to me what the process would be like as a customer coming into a salon getting a haircut?
Right. So we're very lucky. We have the most patient, wonderful customers, I think, ever. I really appreciate them so much because they're so patient and understanding. Most of them say, oh, it's just hair, it grows back. And they really put the students at ease. And it's a beautiful thing. And I think that for them, they really learn a lot as well, because we're talking a lot about different things like the head shapes and how the hair grows. And, we do teach about how products are used, even if people aren't getting a blow dry style. We talk about how to use the products and what to use and show them how to get the best from their hair in styling as well. So they really enjoy that education. I think that in the salons, it is something, again, that stylists aren't sharing enough information with their clients to help them do better for themselves at home.
No, I agree with that. It's almost like, and actually, and again, back to creative, that too, but back to unique aspects of Systems Beauty College. That's also a great point, is as a guest and client of Systems Beauty College, you also get the benefit of learning and almost having like a little mini, I get half an hour or an hour instruction of hairstyling, because you will just learn more about your hair, how hair is cut, just from, if you are paying attention to watching the interactions between you and your students. So no, I absolutely love that. So thank you for elaborating. I love your salon, and I think that's such an inspirational message for all of us watching. So I also heard that your salon also sells, and you mentioned this a little bit, hair care products as well. So what types of hair care products and brands of products does your salon sell?
So we have a fairly good variety of products that we work with. Our main color line is Joico. If anybody out there in the world does know anything about hair color, or hair products, there's so many companies and so many brands. And we've just chose, excuse me, whatever works best with our textbook, as well as whatever works best with your basic theory. Because basic theory sometimes changes in hair because we have companies that are from Europe. And the European system of doing things isn't always the same as our systems of doing things. So it can make training really difficult if you don't have the right product to work with. So Joico is one of our main lines that we carry, and we have several other lines that are great, especially in the gluten, vegan, paraben-free, sulfate-free.
Yes.
All of the things that everybody's worried about today, we have something pretty much for everybody, you know, that's going to be able to still work well for what you need it to do. Because I do find sometimes that's difficult when you're out there in the salon or in the drugstore or at the grocery shelf. There's so many things, and how do you know what's good? So, you know, trying to learn it from us is great. We'll show you how to use it, and we'll tell you the best thing for your hair. And we have some of the best prices as well. Because I'm a school, I get discounts, and I tend to pass those along because my students need to learn how to share information on products. And I think that it's really, really great for the clients to understand that they're really helping with the whole training process as well, right? If they're open to buying what they need with us and I can give them a better price, I think it's fantastic. So we have a little bit of nail types of supplies too, you know, cuticle oils and hand creams and things like that as well. We have a little bit of tools. So we have some curling irons and blow dryers and flat irons and straightening brushes. We don't stock a lot of stuff, but we certainly have a little bit of everything and can get whatever we want. So
I love that. I want to just quickly jump on a couple of really important things you said. So I agree with you about using, like you said, like, that your main hair color products and hair care products are Joico, but you specifically mentioned that you chose Joico because of how easy it was to use. And I like that, because when your students are learning, if they basically have to have a degree in chemistry to know what they're mixing, well, that's not going to make it easy for them. So yes, I love that. And I also love that that your salon has gluten and vegan products, because I can say as a blonde, my hair can't tolerate a lot of harsh chemicals. So I tend to go for obviously the salon products, but I tend to go towards the ones that have the least amount of chemicals, so my hair is not totally mad at me all the time. So no, I love that. So Sit and Speedy College, a bit of everything, and I absolutely love that. So what I guess kind of connecting to, I guess, just this massive journey you've had and all the stuff you've learned, and how you've used that knowledge to then educate your students and the public about how to properly do hair and take care of their own hair. What would you say is one of the biggest lessons that you've learned as a female salon business owner?
So I think that sharing information is huge in business. And when you have a staff, or in my case, they're students, but they're like a staff as well. You need to communicate, and you need to help people to get through life a little easier in what they're doing. And so again, for us, that's one of the things that we do teach people, not only how to do hair, but how to be successful. So I think if more business owners and you know, coaches or whatever would think about life a little bit more nurturing so that they can help people learn the skills to be better at what they're doing and to be able to be better employed, because a lot of people don't have a lot of experience in those skills anymore. You know, in my day, you went and you ran a cash register as your first job in a local Woolco, which is Walmart now, you know, and that's not such a popular place to start for young people anymore. Things have changed. So I think it's important that we really learn how to help our people, and instead of expecting them to know everything.
I'm thankful for that, because you're right. I mean, it's a very humbling experience when you start off from, like you said, working in a place like Wilco and then growing into this successful business owner versus kind of, I guess, inheriting all that. So you're right. It gives you a massive sense of perspective and just being a humble human. So, and even just you talking, even just the way that you talk about hair and your interactions with customers, I again, going back to what makes you and Systems Beauty College so unique is your educational background, because you're there as the duality between a teacher and a licensed I think that too, but licensed hairstylist. So you have those duality of perspectives where you're not coming in of I'm a hairstylist that knows all, and you're just going to sit in my chair and listen to me say what I think is right. You're adding that human teaching element where you're interacting with both your guests, and your students on more of an empathic psychological level, because you have that teacher training. So I think that's wonderful, and I want our viewers to make sure that they know that. So I guess my last question of the evening: if you could offer any advice to someone wanting to start off in a new business, what would you give them?
Just go for it. Get your basic knowledge of what you're doing. And, you know, there's so many different areas of help out there right now, whether it be online or whether you're government. You know, when I first started in business, I went to the government and said, what kind of courses do you have to offer? They had a ton of free courses to learn, you know, about how to start a business, how to do payroll, how to do taxes. And it was lots of free education. And I can tell you by far, I'm a hairstylist. I'm not a business person. So for me, those courses were everything. And they just broke it down into simplicity. I didn't have to go take a whole big business course or anything. And I have a great bookkeeper. That is an absolute asset. If you don't know books, find a really good bookkeeper and a good accountant and go for it. Know your business and just be personable, because there's not enough personable people out there.
That is some wonderful advice. And maybe to kind of give the play on words, the biggest lesson I learned even from listening to you is have your systems, have your foundation, and then just persevere. And that's, I think, the biggest lesson I learned from your answer, and even just from our interview: have our systems and persevere. So unfortunately, that's all the time we have for tonight on Women in Business with Luna Brigid. However, for all of you amazing viewers who are watching, please go down below to systemsbeautycollege.ca for more info on both the salon and the school. So, Donna, thank you so much for being our guest tonight on Women in Business. Systems Beauty College is definitely my go-to salon for any hair or nail related, I guess I was going to say situations, but this seems very like not proper English speak. So for any hair or nail services, that's maybe more of a formal word of saying, for services, you are my go-to salon. So plus, we are going to see you again this Monday at 10 a.m. on our Rise and Shine Manitoba show with Luna Brigid for your first beauty and styling tips with Donna segment. So Mark in your calendars every Thursdays, 8 p.m., Women in Business with Luna Brigid, as well as Donna Pawchuk on this episode on Monday, 10 a.m., Rise and Shine, Manitoba. So thank you so much, Donna, for coming in today, and we will see you on Monday.
Thank you for having me. It was great.
You're very welcome. Thank you for coming in. Take care.
You bet. Bye-bye.
So this has been such a fun, amazing show. I know I learned so much from Donna. I hope you all learned so much from Donna. So if you're watching this from your phone, you can rewind, take a screenshot of the website, or if not, you can watch this again and click pause to go on her website, systemsbeautycollege.ca, for more info on Donna Pawchuk's salon and amazing school. So as we sign off, wherever you are, please raise your teacups and cheers with me to the wonderful women in business. Have a wonderful evening and stay safe.